From an original land purchase of 130 acres in 1987 and a series of missteps into club calf and purebred cattle operations, Center Ranch has grown into a multifaceted commercial cow-calf, performance horse, and hay operation spanning over 8,700 non-contiguous acres in Leon County. Center Ranch consists of 8 properties that are identified as Headquarters, Mill Creek, the Bullpens, Kechi Creek, Trinity River Division, the River Bottom or Meyer Place as it is sometimes called, the Coker Place, and Buffalo Creek. Let's take a tour of the ranch properties. Headquarters consists of 2,492 acres accumulated over time via 33 separate purchases, ranging from 1 to 257 acres. Approximately 2,000 of these acres are devoted to cattle and hay operations. The headquarters office is the administrative home to owner Finus Welch and General Manager Jay Dixon and their clerical staff. While Jay is often found overseeing any number of activities around the ranch, his day often starts here, where he delegates daily tasks to his ranch hands.
As general manager, I oversee the cattle operation, the horse operation, the hay operation, and the trucking operation, as well as day-to-day supervising the employees.
The responsibilities of Jay and his hands include meeting the seasonal needs of the forage and cow-calf operations. The cattle inventory at headquarters and all outlying properties consists of roughly 2,000 mama cows, about half of them with young calves at side or soon to calve, 500 replacement heifers, and 110 bulls. Calving at the ranch is during the fall and spring seasons. The ranch is now in the middle of what's referred to as spring calving season. The hay season runs from late April to early November. Winter forages for late winter and early spring grazing are either planted or overseeded during late September to early November. Headquarters serves a number of other functions as well. Headquarters houses the feed mill, where feed components are mixed and prepared for delivery, serving the many ranch properties. The feed mill consists of a large bin grinder for grinding hay, bins for holding 18-wheeler loads of grains, and horse rations. It is the place where feed rations, including hay or silage, are loaded into trucks for mixing and delivery to feed bunks through the ranch. During the winter, when pastures are inadequate, the ranch has 2 trucks running all day, every day, to all places occupied by cattle, which include all properties other than the Coker Place. Headquarters is also the operating home of the Center Ranch horse operation. From breeding to final sale, all horses working through the Center Ranch Horse Program stay on site over the course of a horse's life. Here on the east side of headquarters is the Mill Creek Division. Comprised of approximately 1,000 acres, Mill Creek is accessed either from SH7 or by headquarters service roads. Because of its proximity to headquarters, it is not leased for hunting. Most of it is wooded, however, some acreage was cleared for pastures by the previous owner. We use this cleared land as summer pasture for replacement heifers. This winter, we overseeded 160 acres of ryegrass for late winter and early spring grazing as well. Center Ranch's bullpens consist of 48 acres, located 2.5 miles south of headquarters on FM 811. The Center Ranch policy is to sell its weaned calves as quickly as possible. Sometimes the feeder calves are shipped from the locations where they are weaned. If not, the weaned calves, along with the heifers intended as replacements, are moved to the bullpens for settling. Settling refers primarily to getting the recently weaned calves used to eating feed and hay without nursing. It also refers to vaccinating for customary diseases. The recently weaned calves are susceptible to respiratory infections, so during the settling period, they are watched closely and treated as necessary. The bullpens also serve as a receiving location for calves consigned to the ranch to be used in the training of cutting horses. Calves brought on consignment are much more susceptible to respiratory problems than those raised at the ranch. Settling takes about 2 weeks. The training program requires a new set of 75 heifers, a double-decker load, every 2 weeks. As a load arrives, it is weighed and weighed again as it leaves. The ranch is paid on the weight gain, which usually does not cover its full costs. Once the consigned heifers are finished at the training facility, they are returned to the bullpens for feeding so that they will have been at the ranch approximately 6 weeks before being returned to the consignor. The bullpens house a laboratory, digital scale, loading platform, a hydraulic squeeze chute, as well as 36 sorting and receiving pens. Kechi Creek sits on 760 acres and is located 10 miles south of headquarters, also on FM 811. This property includes a 15-acre frontage, a 45-acre meadow formerly used for hay, with the remaining land divided into 8 pastures, each averaging somewhat less than 90 acres. The Kechi Creek property is long and narrow, with a 2-mile service road that makes feeding possible through troughs arranged roadside. The task of feeding hundreds of cattle on a property like this can be accomplished with just one driver using trucks that auger the feed into the roadside bunks. The division has a typical and complete set of working pens for a cow-calf operation, including a digital scale and hydraulic squeeze chute. Within one of the pastures, there is a 6-acre fenced area separated from the cattle. Here, an oil pad has been constructed by and is currently under lease to Weatherford. A water tank is also located adjacent to the pad, where water is sold for the purpose of oil fracking. Center Ranch maintains 100% of the mineral rights at this site. At the far end of the service road, there are 150 acres of pine trees that will soon be ready for their third cut or pole cut, the final cut before replanting. As is true of other outlying areas, the Kechi Creek Division is also leased for hunting. The Trinity River Division is located 13 miles east of headquarters, with access on State Highway 7. It borders the Trinity River, and it's used exclusively as part of the cow-calf operation. It has a full set of working pens and, closer to the highway, has a set of catch pens for loading or receiving cattle. There's also a large barn and equipment shed that houses the ranch's largest tractor. Approximately 660 acres near Highway 7 are treated as farmland with 2 forage crops. Some are hay or silage and cover crops for late winter and spring grazing. The Trinity River Division has for several years been leased to a single hunter who has the property enrolled in the Bush Slough Co-op Game Management Program of Leon County. This program is developed in conjunction with the Texas Parks and Wildlife Department and is operated by a group of private citizens joined together to manage their property for the benefit of wildlife. The Meyer Division is comprised of 1,172 acres, 17 miles from headquarters. Its 6 pastures are exclusively devoted to the cow-calf operation and are also leased for hunting. Meyer has a full set of working pens with a hydraulic squeeze chute. Here you can see Jay and the ranch hands weaning calves, an activity that is performed twice a year, once for each of the calving seasons, spring and fall. The weaning of calves requires the separation of the calf from its lactating mother at an age of 7 to 8 months. On this day, the working pens are used to divide the calves from the herd and to load them onto the truck for delivery back to the bullpens. There, the steers will be culled and the heifers will be evaluated for selection into the replacement herd. With the exception of these replacement heifers, all weaned calves are sold as soon as possible. Located on FM 3178, 12 miles from headquarters, the 319-acre Coker Place is held as an investment property. It is leased annually for hunting, deer, waterfowl, and hogs. The Buffalo Creek Division of Center Ranch is located 20 miles from headquarters along winding unpaved County Road 279. It's a large property consisting of 1,274 acres that are divided by the Buffalo Creek. The 378 acres north of Buffalo Creek are used exclusively for hunting and includes a small camp house for hunters. It also has 15 to 20 acres of marshland that can be filled in the winter from the adjacent Alligator Creek for duck hunting. The remaining 885 acres on the south side of Buffalo Creek are used as pasture with some seasonal cover crops as part of the cow-calf operation. This winter, the ranch planted 100 acres of oats and 160 acres of ryegrass within the Buffalo Creek's 15 pastures. The Buffalo Creek property includes a full set of working pens, complete with hydraulic squeeze chute. Like Kechi, Trinity River Division, and Meyer, the south side of Buffalo Creek is used exclusively as part of our cow-calf operation and is also leased for hunting. Coming back to headquarters, we can see that the Center Ranch horse operation occupies pastures on both sides of FM 811, with approximately 300 acres on the east side. It includes Center Veterinary and Reproduction Services, or CVRS as it is sometimes referred, stallion barns, and breeding facilities, along with pastures for the mares and their babies. On the west side of FM 811, there are pastures for yearling horses, along with the finishing and training facilities. The CVRS facility provides Center Ranch, as well as outside clients, a number of equine and bovine services, including internal medicine, general medicine, lameness evaluation, conditioning and rehabilitation, preventative care, as well as limited surgeries.
My name is Jason Walter, and I'm the resident veterinarian here at CVRS. I'm in charge of primarily the horse operation and the staff that works here at both the large and small animal clinic.
Dr. Jason Walter joined the clinic staff in 2012 and directs the clinic with his experience with equine reproductive health.
I attended Miami University and graduated with a degree in microbiology before going to veterinary school at The Ohio State University. And following graduation there, I came down to Texas and worked at Weatherford Equine. It's a referral hospital. Did an internship there under the tutelage of various internal medicine and boarded veterinary surgeons before, I believe I was there 8.5 years before coming down to Centerville and taking care of the clinic here.
Adjacent to CVRS are stallion barns, as well as a stallion collection facility for artificial insemination. Center Ranch's senior stallion, Woody B. Tough, is a 12-year-old sorrel stallion and has amassed more than $361,000 in lifetime earnings in the competitive sport of cutting. He stands at CVRS, where he is bred to Center Ranch-owned mares, as well as being actively marketed to outside clients. His first Center Ranch full crop amassed earnings of approximately $500,000. His 2012 outside breeding garnered $160,000 in semen fees, with breeding prices set at $2,000. His price for the upcoming season has been set at $5,000. CVRS has recently acquired certification by the U.S. Department of Agriculture to collect and export frozen semen to Australia and Brazil. CVRS also includes a small animal clinic to serve the needs of the rural area, including and surrounding Centerville. Dr. Lisa Van Reenen manages the small animal side of the clinic, where a variety of veterinary services are provided, along with boarding and grooming of cats and dogs. While Jay Dixon, as general manager, has the responsibility of overseeing all ranch operations, most of the day-to-day activities for the horse operation are ceded to others. Breeding is the joint responsibility of our stallion manager, Del Bradshaw, and our chief veterinarian, Jason Walter. Unlike cattle, where breeding occurs in the pasture via live cover, the breeding of horses at Center Ranch is exclusively by artificial insemination. Semen is either collected from the ranch stallions or shipped to the CVRS from outside stallions. On rare occasions, the ranch's mares are transported to other facilities for breeding when the sire's semen is either too valuable or too scarce to be shipped. Once a pregnancy is determined, the developing embryo is transferred from the donor to a recipient mare. Once the pregnancy of the recipient is established, she will be turned out to pasture until foaling season the following year. Because nursing or wet mares can be bred for the next year's foal crop, the majority of the pregnant recipients will also have a young foal at side. Foaling is also the joint responsibility of Del and Jason, who monitor the health of the young foals. As foals are weaned, they are moved into stalls and halter broken by Del Bradshaw and his staff. The halter-broken foals are then turned out into small pastures. Once the weaned foals become yearlings, that is January 1st of the year succeeding their birth, they are transferred to the west side of FM 811, where they are sex-segregated into colt and filly pastures. The yearlings are allowed to grow and develop for a full year, during which their health and conditioning is closely monitored on a daily basis by Del Bradshaw and his staff, and on a monthly basis by Jason Walter, the ranch veterinarian. As the yearlings become 2 years old, they are first saddle broken and tied for long periods each day. Then they are broken to ride and training begins. At this point and throughout their second year, they will be separated into those showing potential as performance horses and those better suited to ranch work. Charles Dorsey heads the trainers of the 2-year-old horses, with Better Van Reenen and Tanner Baker training alongside. The 2-year-old horses are divided amongst the 3 trainers, and each trainer assumes primary responsibility for their horse's development.
The help that we have, all the boys that are here are excellent help, and they really know what they're doing, and they've really developed. The horse quality has improved dramatically. Ever since we got to riding the tough babies, I feel like their horse ranch has improved 100%.
However, as the year progresses, our senior 2-year-old trainer, Charles Dorsey, will take over those horses seen as having cutting potential but are unlikely to become outstanding performers. These horses will be sold during their second year at performance horse sales. At these sales, the horses are shown working cattle with Dorsey in the saddle. The second year's culling will have narrowed the foal crop to a point where those that remain are believed to have outstanding potential. Training of the 3-year-olds and older horses is either by our resident trainers Ronnie Rice and Taryn Rice, or by outside trainers such as Boyd Rice.
Maybe the ranch isn't as showy as some places, but all we're trying to do is put out a product, and I'd rather spend the money on the horses, getting better mares and more cows and everything to suit what we're doing than I would to be putting a big old sign out on the highway saying what we could be when we're going to be there. We are there now.
Throughout the development process, the horses are ridden and exercised daily on walkers, as well as evaluated constantly for soundness and general health.
Talking to the staff over at Center Ranch, I think the biggest benefit for them is the convenience factor. Just being able, if they have a sick or injured horse or even just a lameness issue, they can give a call and we can run over and take care of that problem right away. Oftentimes, a lot of those issues that they may have, the sooner you address them, the easier they are to address and the better the outcome.
There's a lot of decisions that have to be made on this ranch, from small things to big things. Finest Welch, he decides the big things. He depends on me to decide the day-to-day questions and answers, but anything that's anything, Finest decides.
It's my hope that this video presentation highlights the many dimensions of Center Ranch in Leon County, Texas.